Why are you so worried? Misha asks her husband Addy, whom she is still carrying on her hip. Actually, that golden bracelet is with me now, Addy says. Misha is shocked to hear this. She switches off the vacuum cleaner and hugs Addy tighter, bringing him closer to her face, feeling anxious. Addy is literally crushed between Misha's strong arm and her waist. But how in the world did it end up with you? Misha asks in surprise. Do you know that family, which lives on the street behind ours? Addy asks, feeling a bit scared now. Yes, I know that family. I usually meet them in the supermarket every week, Misha says. Well, then you might know they have a son, Sid, Addy says. I don't remember the son's name, but they also have a daughter, Tanya. She comes to my yoga class too. She is a cute girl, Misha says. Yes, I think you are speaking about the same family, Addy replies, who is still lifted on the hip of Misha. So last week, Sid fell down from his motorbike on a nearby street and injured himself, Addy says. Oh, that poor guy, Misha exclaims. But that is when a tall and powerful woman showed up. She not only lifted him up from the street, she even carried him to the bus stop and carried him on her hip till the rain stopped, Addy says. Wow, that is impressive. All women should be like that, Misha says. Not only that, she drove his bike with him sitting behind and took him to his house. And she then carried Sid to his room, Addy says. Oh my, but who is that impressive tall woman? Misha asks in curiosity, and bounces Addy high on her hip as he is slowly sliding down from her waist. That tall woman was wearing a mask and raincoat. Sid does not know who it is. But she left this bracelet in his house, Addy says. Misha is in disbelief hearing this. Do you mean to say that it was Aunt Aisha then? Misha asks surprised. Even I suspect the same, but I did not know that Aisha auntie knows how to ride a bike, Addy says. Not just that, the way Sid mentioned, that how she enjoyed carrying him, I suspect she was interested in him, Addy says. Impossible, Misha laughs, while still carrying him on a hip lift. The fact is, all the women in our family are experts in driving heavy bikes. We come from a remote village, remember? Aisha auntie and Mona have spent most of their lives driving heavy bikes, especially on the toughest of roads. But again, Aisha auntie is too madly in love with Kabir uncle to even think about all this, especially at this age, she says. But how did that bracelet end up with Sid then? Addy asks. Let me call Aunt Aisha and understand what happened, Misha says. Misha, while still carrying Addy on her hip, reaches to her cell phone and makes a call to Aunt Aisha. Aunt Aisha is chatting with her friends in a restaurant when she answers Misha's phone call. Hey Misha, what is the matter? She asks. Hi Aunt Aisha, I just called to ask something. Where is that golden bracelet, which you had borrowed from me? Misha asks. Addy, who is still lifted up on Misha's hip, is also listening closely to the conversation. Oh, that golden bracelet is with Mona now, Aunt Aisha replies. Actually, Mona liked it so much, she requested me to use it for a few days, Aisha says. Sorry, I forgot to tell you that, she says. Addy and Misha are looking at each other with a shocked expression now. But why are you asking about the bracelet, dear? Aunt Aisha asks. Nothing, I was just thinking of wearing it at an upcoming event, Misha lies. Anyways, I will get it from Mona then. Thanks for the information, Misha says. No problem, dear. So how is the day going? You and Addy are alone at home today, right? Aunt Aisha asks with a naughty tone in her voice. Well, what to say, Misha replies blushing. I have decided to carry Addy the whole day today, she says. Oh my, that's like my girl. You continue enjoying the good time with your husband then. Aunt Aisha laughs and ends the call. Addy is embarrassed now. Rats, so it was Mona who lifted up Sid and carried him to his home then, Addy says in surprise. Well, I am not really surprised, Misha says. I have seen Tanya and her elder brother a few times. He is kind of cute, you know, Misha giggles, while still carrying Addy on her hip. Addy is surprised. But Mona is almost a foot taller than Sid. She is way above his league, Addy says. A tall and attractive girl like Mona would be chased by many tall, rich and handsome boys desperately. Why would she be interested in a short and weak guy like Sid? Addy asks. Well, the women of our family have a thing for short guys, you know. Misha winks at Addy. And especially if a man is in trouble, the women of our family become extra strong. Misha replies laughing, flexing her one arm, while still carrying Addy on her hip. So if Mona helped Sid by lifting and carrying him when he was in trouble, then she was only following the family tradition, Misha says. I also think it is time Mona had a boyfriend, you know, and Sid will be perfect for her. Misha jumps in excitement while still carrying the surprised Addy on her hip. Curses, the women of this family are really weird, Addy thinks. Will you put me down now? I need to use the bathroom, Addy says. Fine, but you will be lifted up by me as soon as you step out of the bathroom, Misha says and gives Addy a tight smooch on the lips. She carries him to the bathroom before letting him down from her waist. Meanwhile, the poor Sid, who is lifted up from the front by the tall and strong Mona, is feeling helpless as he is dangling very high in the air. Mona takes a second to understand what has happened to the bracelet and places Sid back on the ground. Sid is breathing heavily and his heart is beating very fast, as he was never lifted up so high in the air, let alone by any girl like this. Please tell me the whole story, and how the bracelet ended up with Addy, Mona requests Sid, looking deeply into his eyes. This is not good. If Misha comes to know about this, then she will think that I am a very careless girl, especially with her things, Mona says in despair. Oh dear, I am really sorry. I never knew that I would put you into trouble like this by giving that bracelet to Addy, Sid says. Come on, it is not your fault. You have done exactly what a responsible guy would do. I really appreciate what you have done, Mona says, looking into his eyes as she is towering over him. Tanya now comes back with a plate full of snacks. It is eating time now, she says. As they finish the snacks, Tanya has still not gotten over the excitement that she can lift and carry her elder brother Sid. Hey big bro, you still have one place left to paint, Tanya says. Curses, Sid exclaims. Mona is giggling now. So what is the delay? Paint it soon and finish it, Sid says. Aha, don't you think that I have forgotten the agreement, bro? You will still have to get lifted up by me before I paint, Tanya says. Oh wow, I really have to see this. Get up, Sid. Don't make your dear little sister wait, Mona says in excitement. How many times should I get lifted up in a single day? Sid complains and walks towards Tanya, who is waiting for him. Well, now how do you want to carry me? Sid asks in worry. Well, big bro, I want to carry you in. Tanya hesitates a bit to say further. Come on, you have already carried me from the front, on your hip, and even on your arms. Why are you hesitating now? Sid asks in surprise. Well, bro, I want you to sit on my shoulders, Tanya says in hesitation. What? Sid responds in shock with his mouth open. A big brother sitting on the shoulders of his little sister? That is preposterous, Sid shrieks. Wow, I really like this girl's attitude, Mona thinks to herself with a smile. Come on bro, my friends have been carrying their brothers like this for years, Tanya protests. And here, I am asking you to sit on my shoulders only now, after so many years, she says. Sid is getting frustrated. I cannot do this. What if you drop me on the ground? I mean, just look at your shoulders. They are so slim, Sid says. Come on, Sid, she is a girl. Not only will she be stronger, she will in fact become extra strong when it comes to lifting the men of her family, Mona says. Besides, I will stand nearby to support. If you lose balance, there is nothing to worry about, Mona says. Curses, this is not a good idea, Sid complains. Tanya now squats down. Come on bro, sit on my shoulders, she says, pointing to her slim shoulders. Look, if you sit on my shoulders now, I will not ask for pocket money this whole month, Tanya says. Hey, that's not a bad deal, Sid thinks. Go on then, Sid, sit on her shoulders, trust your little sister's strength, Mona says, smiling. Sid's heart is beating fast now. Meanwhile, in Addy's house, after finishing his work in the bathroom, he is preparing himself mentally to get lifted up by his wife again. I am starting to like being lifted up by Misha on her hip now, Addy thinks. It feels soft, warm and really comfortable whenever she is carrying me on her soft waist. And it feels really good when she is kissing me while still carrying me on her hip, Addy thinks fondly. He now opens the bathroom door. Misha is standing below on the bedroom floor smiling. Misha, why are you waiting outside the bathroom like this? Addy asks, surprised. Of course, my husband, I will be carrying you the whole day today, right? So I want to make sure that you don't start walking again, Misha smiles. Addy is speechless hearing this. Misha now turns her back towards Addy and bends down a little. I have decided now that I will carry you on my shoulders, Misha says. Addy is confused. Why don't you carry me on your hip again? Addy asks. I am actually beginning to like it, he says. Misha is really glad to hear this. Oh my, this is such good news, Misha says in happiness. But now I want to carry my husband on my shoulders, simply because I have never done that before, Misha says. She moves her long hair away from her shoulders, making space for Addy to sit. Well, Mona lifted me up easily that day, and even did squats with me sitting on her shoulders. So I think Misha should be able to carry me easily too, Addy thinks. Taking support of the bathroom door, Addy slowly sits on the shoulders of Misha. Have you sat comfortably on my shoulders now? Misha asks, looking up at Addy. As soon as Addy says yes, Misha stands up comfortably, carrying Addy's full weight on her shoulders. Addy was not expecting that Misha will be able to stand up so comfortably with his full weight on her. Misha is now smiling with satisfaction as Addy is now sitting on a shoulder sit on her. Finally, my purpose in life is fulfilled, Misha says. What are you talking about? Addy asks in surprise. Meanwhile, Sid is now sitting on Tanya's shoulders while being supported by Mona. As Sid rests his full weight on Tanya's shoulders, she stands up straight with a groan. Mona now stands back, making sure that Sid's full weight is now lifted up by Tanya on her shoulders. Yes, Tanya shouts as she is now standing comfortably with Sid sitting on her shoulders. I have finally proven that I am the stronger sibling of the house, Tanya announces and flexes her biceps. Sid covers his face in embarrassment now. Tanya starts laughing like a supervillain, while still carrying her elder brother in a shoulder sit. Listen, all you people of this city, Supergirl Tanya is now strong enough to carry her big bro on her shoulders. Everyone take note of this, she shouts. Mona is really liking this scene. Calm down, Tanya. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? And what if somebody spots me sitting on your shoulders like this? We will become a topic of jokes in this locality. Please reduce your volume, Sid says in frustration, looking down at Tanya. Of course it is a big deal, Tanya replies, looking up at Sid, who is still sitting on her shoulders. An elder brother sitting on the shoulders of his little sister is the ultimate proof that he is no longer the strongest sibling. Little sister is now the strongest in the house, she says. Strongest in the house? What do you mean? Sid asks in horror. Of course, don't you realize, Dad is only a little heavier than you, which means, I am strong enough to carry even Dad on my shoulders now. Tanya laughs with a devilish tone, as she is flexing her biceps with Sid still sitting on her shoulders. Sid is getting a sinking feeling now. Listen everyone, I am now officially the strongest member in the family. I can carry everyone in the house now, Tanya laughs. Mona now takes out her cell phone and starts taking pictures. Sid covers his face in embarrassment. Come on, this is such a cute moment. This won't come daily. Let me take proper pictures, Mona says. Meanwhile, Misha walks out of the room, while carefully balancing Addy, who is still sitting on her shoulders. Curses, I never imagined in my wildest dreams that one day I will be sitting on Misha's shoulders, Addy thinks. Misha now walks into the hall where the TV is running. The TV channel covers local news. A really strong woman literally caught a falling worker on her shoulder today, the reporter says. And if you are amazed at her strength, wait till you see her pose for a photo carrying 3 fully grown men together. She is Aunt Aisha, the strong woman of the city, the reporter announces, showing the photo of Aunt Aisha carrying the electricity workers together. Addy is looking with his mouth open. Misha is beaming with joy. If you guys meet Aunt Aisha anywhere, say thanks to her, because she not only saved a worker in trouble, but also helped them to maintain the electricity supply in the city, she says. Oh my gosh! Aunt Aisha is getting popular in the city, Misha exclaims with Addy still sitting on her shoulders, trying to keep balance. Looks like Aunt Aisha is making good use of her time outside the house. While I am making the best time alone with my husband, inside the house, Misha says. Misha now starts singing a song and stretches both her arms sideways like the wings of a bird, while still carrying Addy on her shoulders. Misha starts turning round and round. Addy's head starts spinning now, as Misha is lost, busy in her happy song. Meanwhile, Sid is cursing his situation as Tanya is still laughing on the terrace, carrying her older brother on her shoulders. If you are satisfied carrying me, will you put me down now? Sid asks Tanya, looking down. Of course, big bro, don't worry, I will fulfill my part of the deal and paint the ledge, she says. Tanya is now painting the ledge when Mona comes near Sid. What did you say about me when you gave that bracelet to Addy? Mona asks, feeling a bit tense. Well, I told how you lifted me up from the road on your arms, and also how you carried me on your hip under that bus stop, Sid says gratefully. Oh no, did you said all that? Mona asks. Yes, I also said that how you drove the bike to my house, and carried me piggyback to my room, Sid says. Goodness, did you tell each and every detail of that day to Addy? Mona asks in disbelief. Of course, such things don't happen daily, right? Especially to an average guy like me, Sid says. You are the only girl who has been so nice to me all my life, he says. Mona comes close to Sid and holds his hands now. Did you like it when I lifted you up that day? She asks Sid. Looking up at Mona as she is towering over him, Sid's heart starts beating fast now, as he is looking up into her eyes. Say no more, Mona says, closing his mouth with her palm, as Sid is about to say something. Mona bends down now and lifts up Sid and places him on her waist, hugging him warmly. Sid wraps his arms around her shoulders, breathing heavily, without even complaining this time, as if he is perfectly fine getting lifted on a hip lift by her. Mona and Sid are now silent and just enjoying the warmth of each other's body, while the cold wind is blowing on the terrace. Tanya now finishes the painting and comes back, only to see her big brother lifted up by that tall girl wearing a mask. Rats, when I saw my brother lifted up for the first time by that tall, strong girl, it felt really funny. But now he is looking so small, helpless and weak. When lifted up by that tall, strong girl, I am somehow feeling worried for him now, Tanya thinks to herself. Hey, how come you are carrying big bro again? Tanya asks them. Oh, just like that, you know, sometimes a girl just feels like lifting up her friend, right? Mona replies, smiling. Hey, but I thought I was your friend first, not big bro, Tanya says. When you first came to the house carrying Sid, you showed how easily he can be lifted up. And even now, you gave so much support to me when I wanted to carry my big bro. So I should be your friend number one. Sid may come later, Tanya says. Ah, my baby girl, come here, Mona says. As Tanya comes close to her, Mona bends down and picks her up with her other hand and places her on her other hip. Mona is now standing on the terrace carrying Sid on her one hip, and Tanya on her other hip together. Sid is looking in disbelief, shocked at the strength of this tall girl wearing mask. So now, are you satisfied? Mona asks Tanya. Tanya's cheeks have gone pink now. Oh my god, you brother and sister duo are so cute. I feel like lifting up you both together whenever I see you now, Mona says. You both are now my bestest of friends, Mona announces, while still carrying Sid and Tanya together on her each hip. Whoa, now wait a minute, Tanya says. Have you realized that despite becoming our best friend, and even carrying both of us together now, we still don't know your name or your identity? Oh mysterious tall girl wearing a mask, Tanya says. Please bless us with the knowledge of your identity, she says laughing. Gosh, I did not realize that I never revealed my identity to you both, Mona replies in surprise. But again, you never asked, so I never told, Mona laughs. So dear friends, I am Mona. I am the cousin sister of Misha and her husband Addy, who live in the house on the next street, Mona says. Oh my, you are Misha's cousin? We both go to the same yoga class, Tanya replies. Sid is just silently looking at Mona now, as he and Tanya are both still lifted up together by Mona, and is busy chatting with Tanya. I think you should also remove your mask and show us your face. You kept us in suspense for too long, Tanya says. Go ahead and remove it then. My hands are busy, you know. Mona laughs as she is still holding Sid and Tanya each with her hands, as they are lifted up on her hip. Sid is looking at Mona with wide eyes, as Tanya removes the mask from her face. Darn it, she is really beautiful, he thinks. Mona now kisses the cheek of both Sid and Tanya and starts laughing, without even being worried about carrying two fully grown adults together on her hip. Tanya hugs her tightly now. Mona is feeling overwhelmed by the warmth of the siblings whom she has lifted up together now. Mona now realizes the time of the day, as Sid and Tanya are still lost hugging Mona, who has lifted them both together. Guys, I should go back to my babysitting job, she says. But why? You are already babysitting us both, right? Sid asks. Come on, my job is not to babysit adults, but Misha's kids, Mona laughs. But before that, I also have to order a cake and purchase decorations for tomorrow, Mona says. Wow, are you planning a party? Tanya asks in excitement. Yes, my friends, we are planning a surprise birthday party for my sister Misha, and you both are our guests of honor, Mona announces while still carrying the siblings together. Oh wow, we will surely come then, since Miss Misha is already my friend, Tanya says. But I don't know Misha, how can I come? Sid asks. Well, you have already met Addy, right? So you are a guest from Addy's side, Mona announces and places both of them on the floor. But I need help from you both, Mona requests. How can we help? Both the siblings ask. Well, bro-in-law will take out my sister and the kids for a romantic lunch tomorrow, and by that time, we need to decorate the place for a surprise birthday party. Will you be able to come and help me then? Mona asks. Of course, we will be glad to help you, Tanya says. I am so grateful for this. See you tomorrow then, Mona says and leaves. Meanwhile, Addy is still sitting on Misha's shoulders, as Misha is now washing the dishes. In the kitchen, Addy is now getting cramps on his body after being lifted up for such a long time. Misha has become much stronger than I had ever imagined, Addy thinks in worry. Curses, I am supposed to work from home today. I must join the work on my laptop before the boss notices, Addy remembers in worry. Misha has now lifted up Addy on her back and is watching TV, while bending down and leaning on a table. Addy is working on his laptop, while still sitting on the back of his strong wife. Curses, I never imagined that one day I will work like this, sitting on my wife's back. Why is this happening to me? Addy laments, I just hope they don't start a video call today, he thinks. Addy's work is slowly getting hectic, but strong Misha is quite comfortable carrying him on her back. It is finally lunchtime now, and Addy is having food on his plate with Misha carrying him on her lap. Misha is also demanding regular kisses from Addy, while carrying him throughout the day. It is almost evening now. Misha is spending the last moments of being alone with Addy by carrying him piggyback and dancing to the music playing on TV. When the school bus arrives, Addy was never so much relieved in his life. It is the next day morning now. Misha wakes up from the bed and goes to the bathroom. As she comes out, Addy is waiting outside with flowers. A very happy birthday to my dearest wife. Addy wishes her. Misha is really happy. She takes the flowers and smells them deeply. Thank you, my sweet husband, she says and grabs Addy, bends down and lifts him up into a front piggyback. Addy is surprised. It is your birthday, Misha. Why have you lifted me up, as the first thing in the morning today? He asks. Well, it is my birthday, so I will get to do whatever I want, right? Misha says. Of course, anything you say today will be done promptly, Addy says. Well, now that I have already lifted you up, I wish for a long early morning smooch from my sweet husband, Misha demands. The clock is ticking now, but Misha is still enjoying the smooch she is being given by Addy, whom she has lifted up on a front piggyback. After a long, tight and satisfying smooch, Misha, still carrying Addy on a front piggyback, climbs into the bathroom and closes the door. As Misha gets ready and comes out of her bedroom, Aunt Aisha has already cooked her favorite breakfast and kept it ready. Happy birthday, my dear niece, Aunt Aisha says and lifts her up comfortably on a high front lift. Misha is a bit surprised as she is lifted up high in the air. Aunt Aisha now turns a few circles carrying Misha, places her on the floor and kisses her forehead. Happy birthday, my dear sis, Mona screams and runs towards her. Mona lifts up Misha cradle on her arms and starts running round and round. Addy feels a little warm from inside, looking at his wife being lifted and carried by the strong women. It is evening now. Sid is getting ready to go to Addy's house. He is still remembering fondly how Mona had lifted him high up, from the front, and also how warm he felt when she lifted him up on her hip the previous day. As Sid steps out of the room, Tanya is standing outside smiling. She has worn a biker jacket and jeans, along with biker boots. So big bro, I hope you have not forgotten our agreement, she says and holds out her palm. Please hand me your bike keys, she says. Sid is furious hearing this. No, never, he says. Tanya first makes sure nobody is around. She suddenly bends and lifts up Sid on her shoulder and barges back into his room, while carrying him on her shoulder. Sid is feeling helpless as his little sister is carrying him forcefully on her shoulder now. Tanya now places Sid on the floor after entering his room. I knew that you will surely refuse, big bro, Tanya smiles. So are you still brave enough for another challenge with your strong little sister today? Tanya asks. Of course, just because you managed to lift and carry me yesterday, especially with the help of Mona, you have still not become the strongest sibling in the family yet, Sid says angrily. I knew you will say this, Tanya smiles. I challenge you to an arm wrestling match. If you win, the bike is yours. But if I win, then I will get to use the bike too, Tanya says and clears his study table. Sid accepts the challenge and both are now fighting with their strength, holding each other's hand. Sid uses all his strength, but he is unable to move Tanya's hand. Curses, I am using all my strength, he thinks. What is the matter, big bro? I am only resisting your strength with my hands. I am not even trying to defeat you yet, Tanya smiles. If I somehow cheat and make Tanya angry, she will throw away the game in rage, and I will not end up losing, Sid thinks. Sid suddenly uses his other hand too, and tries to defeat Tanya with both his hands, while the strong Tanya is still playing with one hand. Aha, I knew you will try to cheat, bro, so now we have a new rule, as compensation for your cheating, Tanya says. Not only will I get the bike to ride, but whenever we are both going on the bike, I will be the driver, she announces. Sid cannot believe this. Curses, how is she managing to hold on, despite me using both my hands, Sid thinks. Tanya now groans and uses all her strength. She slowly starts overpowering Sid and finally defeats Sid, despite him using both his hands and exerting his strength desperately. Yes, it was difficult, but I still won. Tanya celebrates. For Sid, it is like a complete defeat. Curses, I never imagined that one day my little sister Tanya will become stronger than me, he laments, almost in tears. Now come on bro, there is nothing wrong if a sister turns out stronger than her elder brother. It is quite common these days, she says. Tanya now comes close to Sid and bends down from the side and lifts him up on her hip. Sid is like, do whatever you want. Now come on bro, at least cooperate with your little sis. When she has lifted you on her hip, wrap your arms around her shoulders, will you? She smiles. Sid wraps his arms around her shoulders as she is still carrying him on her hip. Oh, it feels so warm, right? Tanya says and takes out her cell phone and clicks a selfie. Wow, you really look so cute when lifted up on a hip lift by a girl bro, Tanya exclaims. Wait, please, don't share this photo with your friends, Sid pleads as he is still lifted up on Tanya's waist. Of course not, the selfies I clicked yesterday were not good, as you had covered your face. But this photo is perfect, I will make this my wallpaper, she says and sets the selfie as her phone's wallpaper. Sid is feeling dejected and sad now as Tanya is gleaming with joy looking at the wallpaper, while still carrying her elder brother Sid on her hip. Relax big bro, as I have now finished studies and looking for a job, I will also pay half of the installments for that bike's loan, once I land a job, Tanya announces, while still carrying Sid on her hip. Wow, will you really do that? It will be great, Sid replies in happiness. You can make the boys happy, as easily as you can lift them, Tanya thinks to herself. Tanya and Sid are now in front of the bike, so I am now, technically the co-owner of this bike, Tanya says, and you sir, are the pillion rider, she announces. May I have the honor of carrying my accomplice to the rear seat of the bike? Tanya asks. What are you up to now, you little devil? Sid asks annoyed. Allow me to carry you piggyback, Tanya says and bends down. As Sid climbs on her back, she bounces him up once. Tanya now carries him comfortably to the bike, and while still carrying him piggyback, she lifts her one leg up and gets on the seat. Sid is now also on the rear seat as he was on her back. See, did you like it? Tanya asks, proud of what she just did. That is splendid. Even Mona had done the same with me before, Sid grumbles. Big bro is really in a bad mood today, and I am to be blamed for this, Tanya thinks. Can your legs even reach the ground when you are sitting on the bike? Sid asks Tanya. Of course big bro, I have prepared for this. My biker shoes have a thick sole. My legs touch the ground perfectly now, Tanya smiles. Tanya starts the bike and starts riding it towards Addy's house. Sid notices that Tanya is riding the bike perfectly, even better than him. When did you learn to ride the bike? He asks. Of course bro, I would take this bike out to practice early in the morning, before you wake up every day, Tanya smiles. Also late in the night after you fell asleep, she says. Rats, that is how my bike would get dirty mysteriously every morning, Sid realizes. I think we girls are better suited to ride heavy bikes bro, you boys should stick to scooters, Tanya laughs. As Tanya now rides the bike in front of Addy's house, with Sid sitting behind. Mona is waiting for them outside and is impressed by the scene. Hello my cuties, Mona says and hugs Tanya. She then kisses Sid on his cheek when Tanya is not looking. It is getting dark now and Mona is worried that the preparations are still pending. Tanya, will you take me on the bike to the supermarket? I still have to purchase snacks and refreshments, Mona says. And Sid, you can wait inside the house, she says. Sid now enters the house as Tanya rides the bike with Mona sitting behind. As soon as Sid enters the house, the door closes and there is a sudden power cut. Darn, it is completely dark here. I cannot see anything, Sid realizes. Before his eyes get adjusted to the darkness around, Sid tries to walk and hits a wall on the head. Ouch, Sid exclaims in pain and turns the other side. He hits another wall. Darn it, I will get injured like this, Sid thinks when suddenly he gets lifted up by an unknown person on the hip. Sid is shocked. Oh my god, no one has lifted me up so high above the ground, and so easily too. The person who has lifted me up on the waist must be really tall and strong like Mona. Sid realizes in fear. Mona, is that you? He asks in the dark, feeling worried. The power now comes back. It is actually Aunt Aisha, who has lifted up Sid on her hip. Sid is terrified looking at the big, strong and powerful woman who has lifted him up so high and so comfortably on her hip. Are you alright, young man? I am sorry, you were hitting the wall continuously, and I was worried that you will injure yourself. So I lifted you up suddenly, so that you don't go anywhere and get hit again, Aunt Aisha says. Oh god, this woman is really powerful, Sid thinks as he is being lifted so effortlessly by Aunt Aisha. Thanks a lot for saving me, Sid says. You should really wait for your eyes to get adjusted. Whenever it gets dark suddenly, Aunt Aisha laughs, while still carrying Sid on her hip. By the way, I am Aisha, mother of Mona, she says. Oh, sorry, I forgot to introduce myself. I am Sid, elder brother of Tanya, he says. Yes, I remember now, Mona had said that you had found and gave that golden bracelet to Addy. Thank you for that, she says smiling, while still carrying him on her hip. Still carrying Sid on her hip, Aisha auntie now comes to the main hall. Mona was telling that you will help me with the decorations for the party. You and Tanya are really very sweet, Aunt Aisha says. Of course, please tell me what kind of help you want, Sid asks, while still lifted up by Aunt Aisha on her hip. Well, we want to stick the decorative tape on the ceiling, all across the room. Aunt Aisha says. Sure, I can do that. But where is the ladder? Sid asks. Well, the problem is, the ladder we have is rusted and damaged, so you will have to reach the ceiling using another way, Aunt Aisha says with a little hesitation. No problem. So which is the other way to reach the ceiling? Sid asks. By sitting on my single shoulder, Aunt Aisha says. Sid is in disbelief. Aunt Aisha now lifts up Sid like a child, holding him by his armpits, and raises him above her head from her hip, and places him on her one shoulder. Sid cannot believe what just happened to him. Rats, she is handling me like I am some toy, he thinks. While Sid is afraid of heights, Aunt Aisha's shoulders are broad and really solid, as she is carrying the full weight of Sid effortlessly. Sid is actually feeling confident sitting on the strong shoulder of Aunt Aisha. Aunt Aisha places a toolbox on her other shoulder. Here this box contains the decorative tape and scissors. Stick the tape using them, and don't cut yourself, Aunt Aisha says. Sid is in total disbelief now. As Sid is cutting the tape and sticking it on the ceiling, Aunt Aisha is moving accordingly, carrying him on her single shoulder, as if his weight is nothing to her. Meanwhile, Tanya comes back from the supermarket driving the bike, with Mona sitting behind carrying a box full of refreshments and snacks. As they both get down and come near the door, Mona gets a call from the cake delivery guys, asking for directions. Hey Tanya, can you take the box inside? I need to speak on the phone, Mona says and walks back to the main gate. Tanya now enters the house with the box and spots her elder brother Sid, lifted up on the single shoulder of a tall, big and powerful woman. Tanya is horrified looking at how small and helpless Sid is looking, as he is lifted up on the single shoulder of that tall big woman. The story will continue, gentlemen. Stay tuned for the next part.